Okay, today I want to talk about VS Code and give you a brief introduction to a lot of the features so that you can become a little bit more productive with it. Now, over on the side here, we've got several panels that we can toggle between, just clicking on them. And if you want to hide this, you can even toggle them open and closed. Now, the first one here at the top, this is the Explorer panel. This is where you're looking at your current workspace, your current project. Anytime you're working on files in VS Code, you should be working from a project. You don't want to open one folder, work on files instead of there, and then start opening files from different folders. When you're working on a project, you should have everything together. You should have all your files inside that folder. That way you can keep track of it, and VS Code knows the relationships in the links between those files. So we can use the buttons right here. I can click on the plus file button, create a file, index.html. That's going to work here. We can click on the create a folder button, so I can create that here, or you can right click in the space down here to create a new folder. So let's say there's an image folder, or I could have a JS folder, and so on. Now, moving files around, we can drag files in between folders. So let's say inside of here, we create a main.css file. Inside here, we'll say there's a main, or let's say other.css. Now I realize that I've put this in the wrong folder. You can just click and drag to move things around, or you can rename them. Right click, go down to rename, and we'll change this to a JS file. Okay, so that's the basics of working with the editor. Down at the bottom here, this is a list of everything in your workspace, everything in your project folder. At the top here, this is a list of all the tabs that are open at the top. So we've got all of these files open, and I can have quite a few. If I've got more here than will fit, I can actually click and drag to scroll back and forth on these. Now, Emmet, if you've worked with other IDEs and you're familiar with the Emmett plugin, that is built into VS Code. So I can save a lot of time using the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts. Exclamation mark, and I hit enter. There's my default file. I come down in here. All right, I want to create a main tab, and inside of that, I want to have an H2 inside of it. It says subtitle. And then after the H2 and the subtitle, I'm going to create 4 paragraphs, and inside of each one of them, I want to have the lorem ipsum text, and there's going to be 3 chunks of the lorem ipsum text inside. So this is my shortcut. I just hit enter at the end of this. Boom, there we go. So I have all of this. I save it. VS Code is just formatting everything for me nicely. So all of that very quickly put together for me. All right, so that's Emmet. That's the Explorer panel. You'll also get, whenever you open up an empty, or rather a project folder that doesn't have files open in it currently, you're going to get this welcome screen that comes up. Color theme. You want to edit the themes that you're using right now. Like I'm just using the default dark theme with a custom font set in it, but there's all these different ones, and you can add other ones in. So this install additional color themes, you can do that from through here. And you can also do it through, down here, the extension panel. This is a great little tool. It's very easy to use. You can search for extensions. They can be ones that you've got enabled. There's ones that they recommend for you. You can disable them temporarily, and they'll be inside these sort of sub-panels. Now, a few that I do recommend, a few of the extensions that I recommend, one of them, Live Server. If you worked with brackets before and were familiar with Live Preview, this is very similar to that. With additional settings, you can create a I think it's .VS Code folder inside your project, and inside of there create a settings.json file and start putting in additional settings for your plugins. So in here, this is going to give me the ability to do a live preview. I have this installed. So if I come over to my index.html file, I'll show you this actually working. So here is the HTML file. I've got that selected. I've come over into the Explorer panel. If I right click, open with Live Server, and there we are. This is the HTML file. And this is doing a live preview. It's pretty small here, but you can see that it's running on port 5500. So what it's doing is it's actually starting up a Node web server in the background on port 5500, and it's got a JavaScript file that it inserts into the page, and it is tracking anytime you make a change. So if I come in here and let's say I come in here and we'll make all paragraphs have background color cornflower blue, and the text will make white. Okay, so that's saved, but this isn't on my page yet. You can see here it's not on the page. Now if I come back into here and we actually link this over, so link rel is style sheet and href is our css / main.css, and you can see it completed the path for me. It helped me finish this. I just saved the HTML file, and you can tell over here that it has already updated the page. So that's what the live preview does for you. It allows you to track these things. And then once you've started it, down here at the bottom, I've got this little do not enter sign. This is how you stop the live preview from running. So you click that, it's closed the server, it's shut down, but it does leave me the go live button after that. So in the future, if I want to do this again, I can click on go live and it will open up a new tab with that in it. Okay, so back into the panel here, we've got the live server one that we just talked about. Prettier, which is great for doing formatting. If you ever do need to print your code, there is a print code extension that you can add in here, which allows you to then print the current page that you're working on. Svg Preview, if you work with a lot of SVG images, this will allow you to open up the SVG file and see the preview image for what that is. And version lens, this is one that I really like. When you're working with your package.json file for your projects, it helps you manage the dependencies by, as you can see in the little animation down here, what it does is it adds this little line and it tells you, here's what your current version is, and if there is an update. So you can update just by clicking on the link that's shown right above here. So very easy to tell whether or not your dependencies are out of date. Okay, so that's extensions. There is also a source control tab right here, which is fantastic if you work with Git. So I'm going to just close a couple of these. Inside my project folder here, I've got my HTML, my CSS, my JavaScript, and so on. Great. But I want to start managing this as a Git project. So I can open up the terminal. There's a tab up here where you can say new terminal, or just the keyboard shortcut, which is the control and tilde character. That will open up the terminal down here. Now I'm going to initialize this folder as a Git project. So just do our git init command. There we go. And now you can see these little U's right here. These are for untracked files. So I know in my project that there are 3 files that are untracked. And over here, there's 3. It's telling me, hey, there's stuff going on. There's changes that have been made to these files. So I need to start managing this. And I can do it from the terminal down here. So I can do my add, my commit, my push, my pull, setting up my repos, branching, all of that stuff that you would do from the terminal. It's built right into here. So great additional tool. I'm just going to create a package.json file just to show you that version lens working as well. So we'll create that with the defaults. There we go. Here's my package.json file. Now I don't have anything in here. I'm just going to randomly select a package. There's an npm module called cowsay. I'm just going to stick that in here just to have something in here. So we'll say npm install, and cowsay is the name of our package. There we go. So dependencies, there's cowsay, here's the version number, and it's telling me that, yes, this is the latest version of it. So you can track all your dependencies like that with this. All right, so moving on from there, we've got the Emmett plugin, we've got the terminal built right into here. You can open up multiple terminals at the same time. When I'm working, I'll often close this side panel just to give myself a little bit more space to work here. Down at the bottom, you can split the terminal into two sides. So you could do one side, which is tracking, let's say you're doing a node web server, so running the server here, and then this is the client side, so you can be doing two things at the same time. Or open additional terminals like that. So there we go, I've got these different terminals open. Okay, back to keyboard shortcuts. Emmet, I already showed you, but if there's things that you need to move around, let's say this H2 tag, I wanted to duplicate that and move one of them above the main tag. So we've got keyboard shortcuts, duplicating a line. We've got Shift, Option, and then down or up. It's going to duplicate the current line that I'm on. There we have, I've got two of these, and now to move this, I'm going to just Option, and with the arrow key, I can move this one line up and down through my code. And believe me, that saves a tremendous amount of time when you're moving stuff. You need to edit multiple lines. Let's say I've got multiple versions, and this could be a series of paragraph tags or anchor tags, and I wanted to add the same attribute to all of them. So to add cursors to all of them, Option, Command, and then I move the cursors, the arrows up or down. So I have now added the cursor to all four lines. I can do something like this. So class is head. There we go. And just click somewhere else and we're done. So we can duplicate the cursor with Option, Command, and the arrow keys. We can duplicate lines with Shift, Option, and the arrow keys. We can move a line with Option and the arrow keys. Or if you want to comment things out, just have a cursor on a line, Command, and the /, toggle that, or you can select multiple lines and it will toggle, and it will know if you're in CSS or JavaScript or HTML, and it will do the appropriate commenting for whichever the language of the file is. Okay, last thing that I want to look at is settings and themes. If you want to go beyond just that welcome page and clicking on that, or if you've closed the welcome page and you're looking to get to settings and themes, if you go into Code Preferences, Settings is right up here, and inside of here you can search for all the settings for the extensions for the application. Text editor, this is a common one. So in the font, this is where I was changing the fonts that I was using. So I had that default dark theme, and then I can edit the fonts right here. If you want to search for a setting, let's say the code indent. I think the default for a tab is 4 characters. So inside text editor, there's 8. In Workbench, there's 2. Extensions, there's 12. Things that match this keyword. So I'm going to text editor, auto indent, and editor tab size. That is the one that I want. And I'll just click on the link here to go to it. And there it is. I've got it set at 2, but you could change that. You can say, oh no, I want to have 8 spaces every time I tab. So you can play around with these numbers and set them up however you want. Lots of settings, lots of time to play around with them. Don't feel like you have to do things. Just as you're working with the editor, you'll start to know what feels natural for you. That will help you be productive. One last extension. I realize I skipped over it here. There's a rainbow one. There it is, indent rainbow. Now what this does, it's very faint here, and it's going to be very faint on your editor, but it puts a single dot for each space that there is, and it also colors the background. And it's a very faint color behind each one, but it means that as your files get really large, you can see, and this is great in JavaScript, you can really see where the indenting for each level starts and ends. It helps you to find mistakes where you've possibly left something out. All right, so that's a lot of information, but hopefully it's enough to get you started and get you being productive with VS Code. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.